Hello, everybody. It's Holly from Besotted Orchids. Thank you so much for joining me today. Look what we have. We don't have anything new. We literally have nothing new going on here. There is a twinkle. I'm not sure if I've showed you the twinkle yet. It's not a very, very big, beautiful showing, but a couple of the, you can see back here, there were two other spikes and they did bud blast. But there it is, a beautiful little twinkle. We're not going to complain about any twinkle blooms whatsoever. High-low adventure any day. Ready to open any day, and it will smell amazing. I have put my Phalaenopsis over here. It was turning. You can see it's making a turn. And just within one day, it's starting to straighten itself out. They do go to the light. You do have to watch that. Depending how you want them shaped, you can really use that lighting. I have a white one over here that is starting to get itself ready to open. I'd say another day or two. And this is a secondary spike. This was the main spike. I cut it off at a nodule, a node, a growing point, whatever you want to call it. And it did decide to put out another little spike. And back here, I believe, well, can I get over here far enough? I believe this one here is doing the same thing. I cut it off above the growth point. There's the growth point right there. It is a bump, so it probably is trying to make itself another little secondary spike as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Maybe the last time we see this, the Renee Marquet Tyler, they're not extremely long lasting. They are more long lasting than a Cattleya. Absolutely. Not nearly so long lasting as this. You have been looking at her for a long time. Just beautiful. It's just so pretty. In fact, future orchid purchases, I really think other than getting a twinkle, maybe a Sodoanum, I do want my Neophanetia falcata back. Oh my goodness, well, there goes the whole list. Well, forget that. No, I do want to add some more Denphals to my collection. I probably have, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, something like that. They just last forever. And this one here is setting up a little tiny spike. So this one's going to bloom a lot for me this year. That's why you really want to focus on great growth. That plant needs to have some great growth so you have multiple chances for blooms. But that being said as well, one cane can rebloom, as I have said in a video I put out about dendrobiums. It can rebloom from the same cane. So do not cut those canes off. Last night I was doing a little bit of cleanup in the grow space area, removing dead leaves, things like that, and any old desiccated canes. And I actually, out of all those orchids in there, there's quite a few orchids in there. I did get a nice little pile of things that did need to be cleaned up. More places for mealybugs to hide, things like that. So this will be coming along after that. And if it ever does get warmer here, there's my car, completely buried in. My husband did try to get some of the snow off. We have about 12 inches of snow out here. I have a wonderful path. There's a path out there that goes clear out to my chicken coop, which is so well insulated. When I go in, I'm like, oh, I could just hang out a while. It's really nice in there. Plus, we loaded it down with straw. So now it's an Easter egg hunt. You really have to look for the eggs. They're like, why do we use a nest box? We have straw everywhere. But I do want to show you this. This is coveted grow space right here. This is amazing. Southeast facing sun. Fabulous. Nothing's there. I think we're at 12 degrees right now. And I think they said the wind chill will be down to like minus 25. Now, minus 25 Fahrenheit is minus 0. You go the whole way down to 0. And then you start going backwards. It's a negative number. It's absolutely negative. We're not even in the plus anywhere with wind chill. And probably we won't be again anywhere near the freezing point, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We won't be near that for several weeks yet. Since 1961, we have not had a stretch of cold like this. And out there beyond my bird feeder, that little beautiful shrub, my daughter did get that from me last year for Mother's Day. It is a Susan magnolia, and it has buds on it. And I'm really hoping and praying that it does give me some beautiful blooms this year. That's a long time to be so cold. I don't know what it's gonna do. I really hope not. I hope it blooms well. And out at the garden, it's very hard to see, but I have espaliered apple trees the whole way along the front of my garden here. There are beautiful espaliered apple trees, pear trees, Shinko pear trees, Asian ones. It's just so beautiful. And you really don't even notice they're there. They just blend in well with the fence. And I told my husband, I said, if anything were ever to happen to the fence, even though it's treated, eventually I am making my own fenced-in garden just with my fruit trees. They literally do follow all. It's going to be beautiful. So anyhow, due to this bitter cold, in the grow space area even, everything has been pulled back from the windows. You're not going to find anything near a window, at least 6 inches away, because that is way too cold for my orchids. I don't want them there. I mean, this is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. It's to the point where you're starting to feel a little mean. Like, I need to go outside and work in my yard and do something and go hiking. All we can do is go out and do a little bit of shopping and get ourselves home. So I will be spending some time today getting my car out, backing it up the hill, come in backwards so I'm ready to go tomorrow morning. I do have to go about 30 miles from home tomorrow for an appointment. So, yeah, she's going to have to move. As you can see, the driveway has been plowed. My neighbor way up on the hill, he did come down, and he was kind enough to plow the driveway. So that's really, really nice of him. But the bird feeders are being kept extremely busy. I am just filling bird feed. In fact, yesterday, my husband and I said, I have to go to the neighboring town. I have to go get some more black oil sunflower seeds. So there we are. That's all that's going on. I'm not doing much of anything. Of course, homeschooling and working on this. I do hand quilt. That is all hand stitched. Not the teeniest, tiniest little stitches, but those are my stitches. That's for my grandson. He is soon to be here. So we are looking very, very forward to meeting him. But there we go. That's all that's going on. There's really, really nothing other than some orchid cleanup and just staying warm. That's all that's going on. There's really nothing else. So thanks for watching. And I don't know where all my viewers are, but stay safe wherever you are. These are very, very bad temperatures. And, oh, Linda is fairly close to me. Stay warm. I know she's struggling through the same kind of weather I am. So just wherever you are, I think it did say it impacted 180 million people, this storm. That's a lot of people impacted by this. What did they call it? Storm fern? I don't know. My ferns look a lot friendlier than what they're calling for over there. Oh, my world maps have gone back up. We took them down to put the Christmas tree up, and we miss them. There's not, hardly a day goes by that someone in the family is not over there examining those maps. I recommend just get yourself a map and hang it up somewhere, especially with today's political unrest and everything going on in the world. It's just nice to be able to go over and say, oh, well, that's where that is, and this is where this is. We love it. In fact, I rarely have to teach my son geometry because he is over the geometry. That's math. Ignore that one. Geography. We do teach geometry as well, but geography, because he's over there poring over those maps. It's fabulous to have up. I highly recommend you get a map and hang it up in your home. So if my belief system is with homeschooling my children, and mind you, I did homeschool my older children as well, and they tested back into school a year ahead of where they should have on 3 hours a day of schooling. 3 hours. What's going on in the school system that my children can have 3 hours of schooling at home and they can test in a year ahead of where they should have. So let's do some thinking about this. If we can, you have to have your children in school. Do some things like this. Hang up some maps. Have things. Your children are going to develop a love of learning where you're not going to have to force it on them. They're just going to be researching and educating themselves. And a child who educates himself and loves to learn is an adult who loves to learn. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would have never gotten into the orchid hobby if I did not have a love of learning about new things. It is a learning curve, and you have to learn it faster. You're going to lose a lot of orchids. So I really, 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 the love of learning. In fact, I'm starting the Count of Monte Cristo. I'm on the 4-month schedule according to YouTube to finish it, and I think I'm going to amp it up to the 2-month. I don't have patience to wait 4 months to read a book. I'm going to amp it up to the 2-month schedule. So there you go. Lots of rambling because, hey, I'm snowbound. I have nothing else to do. I am completely locked in here in Snowbound. So please like, share, subscribe, stay warm, and above all, enjoy your orchids.